New rules threaten green card holders with deportation in 2025. For decades, the green card was a promise of a new life, a symbol of security, stability, and a path to citizenship. But in 2025, that promise is collapsing. Under President Trump's executive orders, lawful permanent residents are encountering rules and enforcement measures that threaten to undo years of progress and settlement. Deportation risks expanded. For decades, green card holders rarely feared immediate removal unless they committed serious crimes or violated significant immigration laws. That has changed dramatically in 2025. For the first time, lawful permanent residents are now subject to expedited removal. This process allows immigration officers to make life-changing decisions instantly without offering the safeguard of a full court hearing. Immigration attorneys confirm that residents have discovered removal orders only when being detained at a routine appointment. The protection once tied to permanent residency is evaporating quickly. Families are left stunned, realizing that the card they believed guaranteed safety can now become a liability when policies shift overnight. Detention without conviction. Earlier this year, the LAC and Riley Act introduced mandatory detention for permanent residents charged, but not convicted, of certain offenses. This marks a fundamental shift in immigration enforcement. Imagine being wrongly accused in connection with a minor incident. Even without proof of guilt, the charge itself could result in detention. The law eliminates bond options for many categories. This means individuals can spend months or longer in custody while proceedings drag on. Even if charges are dismissed, deportation cases may still move forward. For many families, separation happens suddenly, leaving children and spouses devastated. Advocacy groups argue that punishing individuals before guilt is established undermines basic rights, yet the policy continues to expand its reach. Ideological vetting and social media scrutiny. Perhaps the most controversial development of 2025 is ideological vetting. For the first time, immigration officers are instructed to evaluate residents' beliefs and digital activity. This includes reviewing social media posts, online comments, group memberships, and even past participation in protests. Critical opinions about U.S. policy may be flagged as disloyal. A student activist who once attended a protest may now face questions about allegiance. A Facebook memory criticizing government decisions could be interpreted as anti-American. Even something as small as retweeting an article could trigger further review. The rules remain vague, leaving wide discretion in the hands of officers. As a result, many green card holders have started deleting old accounts or avoiding public discussions entirely. Critics argue this silences free expression through fear. Retroactive enforcement and old cases reopened. Equally troubling is the retroactive enforcement of rules that reopen cases once considered closed. Small, past mistakes are now being used as grounds for removal. Examples include a forgotten address update from 10 years ago, a minor misdemeanor resolved in local court, or a missing signature on an old immigration form. Errors that once seemed insignificant are being reinterpreted as violations. Notices of review are landing in mailboxes across immigrant communities nationwide. For families, it feels like the rules of the game have changed overnight. What was once forgiven is suddenly weaponized against permanent residents. Real impacts on families. These policies are not theoretical. They are reshaping lives in immigrant communities every day. One father who worked and paid taxes for 15 years now faces deportation because of a paperwork error during a household move. A mother applying for U.S. citizenship was placed in court proceedings after forgetting to attach a required supporting document. A young man whose arrest was dismissed years ago is currently in detention while his case is reopened. The effects ripple through entire communities, children left without parents, businesses abandoned, and homes falling into financial distress. Daily tasks now carry underlying fear. Fear as a policy tool. Advocates argue that the true weapon being used against green card holders is not detention itself, but fear. Permanent residents hesitate to apply for citizenship, renew their cards, or correct minor errors in their files, fearing that doing so will attract scrutiny. By discouraging individuals from engaging with the system, enforcement becomes easier. People withdraw from public life, leaving schools, churches, and workplaces quieter as families try to avoid attention. This culture of silence shows how policy changes are reshaping immigrant communities at a fundamental level. What green card holders should do. So, what steps can permanent residents take to protect themselves in this environment? While no strategy offers complete safety, experts recommend practical actions. Keep records current. Every address update, job change, or household move must be properly reported. Even small lapses can now result in serious consequences. Resolve all legal matters promptly. Even unpaid traffic tickets should not be ignored, since unresolved cases may now be grounds for detention or removal. Review and manage digital presence. Past online activity can be interpreted negatively, so residents are urged to examine old posts and exercise caution with future ones. Seek legal advice early. Immigration attorneys stress the importance of professional guidance, particularly for individuals with past arrests or complicated histories. These actions cannot guarantee protection, but they reduce exposure to unnecessary risks in a system that has become increasingly unforgiving. Looking ahead, an uncertain future. Legal battles are already forming across the country. Civil rights groups argue that expedited removal and ideological vetting violate constitutional rights such as due process and free speech. Court challenges are questioning the legality of mandatory detention and retroactive enforcement. Yet, until decisions are issued, these policies continue to operate daily. That leaves families in a state of limbo. Many are waiting for clarity, uncertain whether courts will intervene or whether enforcement will expand even further. The question remains whether federal judges will protect lawful permanent residents or whether enforcement-first policies will continue unchecked. For now, uncertainty defines the immigrant experience in 2025. What once was a guarantee now feels like a gamble, and security has turned into doubt. Final words. For green card holders, the ground is shifting beneath their feet. A document that once symbolized hope and permanence is now surrounded by fear and risk. These changes make one thing clear: the path forward is uncertain, and preparation is more important than ever. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon for future updates. Thanks for watching, see you in the next video.